Right now, somewhere in Washington, decisions are being made that could directly affect your bank account, your bills, and your family's financial future. And most people have no idea it's happening. If you've been feeling like your paycheck isn't stretching as far as it used to, if groceries, rent, gas, and everyday expenses are quietly eating away at your wallet, then this is not just another news update. This is about you. Because what's being discussed right now is something massive, something that could put money back into your hands, a new wave of financial relief, a potential stimulus package 2.0. But here's the part nobody is telling you clearly. Pieces of it have already started moving. Certain elements have already been released, approved, or quietly pushed forward. And if you're not paying attention, you could miss out on what's coming next. This isn't just about politics. This isn't just about headlines. This is about whether you get relief or get left behind. Think about your current situation. Maybe you've cut back on spending. Maybe you've delayed big decisions. Maybe you're wondering how much longer things will stay this tight. Now imagine this: direct payments, expanded benefits, or financial programs designed to ease the pressure. Sounds familiar, right? But this time, the situation is different, and the stakes are even higher, because this isn't just recovery anymore. This is survival for millions of Americans. And in today's video, we're breaking down exactly what's happening, what's already been released, what could be coming next, and most importantly, what it means for you. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear could change how you plan your next few months, or even your entire year. Why a new stimulus is even being discussed. Let's be real for a moment. The idea of another stimulus package isn't coming out of nowhere. It's being driven by something you've already been feeling every single day: rising costs and financial pressure that just won't let up. Prices have climbed, essentials cost more, and even if your income hasn't changed, your expenses definitely have. This is exactly why lawmakers are under increasing pressure. Not from headlines, but from people like you. Families trying to stay afloat, workers trying to keep up, seniors trying to make fixed incomes last longer. And here's what's important: the government knows this pressure is building. They're seeing the same numbers you're feeling in real life: increased debt, reduced savings, and growing financial anxiety across the country. That's why discussions around Stimulus Package 2.0 are gaining momentum again. But this time, it's not just about sending checks and hoping for the best. The approach is more targeted, more strategic, and in some ways, more complicated. Instead of one massive relief bill, what we're seeing is something more layered: smaller pieces, focused programs, specific groups being prioritized. And that's where things get interesting and a little confusing. Because unlike previous stimulus packages, this one isn't being announced all at once. It's being built step by step, sometimes quietly, sometimes without major headlines, which means if you're only waiting for a big announcement, you might miss what's already happening behind the scenes. And that's exactly why you need to understand what's been released so far, because those early pieces often determine who benefits first and who doesn't, what has already been released, and why it matters. Here's where things start to get real. While many people are waiting for a single big stimulus check announcement, parts of the financial relief plan are already being rolled out in different forms. And if you don't know what to look for, it's easy to overlook them. We're talking about targeted support, things like expanded tax credits, localized relief programs, and adjustments to existing benefits that are quietly putting money back into certain households. Now, this might not look like a traditional stimulus check, but make no mistake, it's still financial relief. In fact, in some cases, these programs can be even more valuable than a one-time payment. For example, certain updates are designed to provide ongoing support instead of a single payout. That means instead of getting money once, some families could receive help over several months. But here's the catch: not everyone qualifies automatically. This is where attention becomes power, because the people who stay informed, the ones who understand these updates early, are the ones who position themselves to actually benefit. And the rest, they hear about it too late. So when we say they've already released parts of it, we're not talking about rumors. We're talking about real financial moves that are already affecting real households. The question is, are you one of them? Who could benefit the most this time now? Let's talk about something that directly affects your chances: eligibility. Because not every stimulus plan is created equal, and not every household is treated the same. This time around, there's a strong focus on targeting specific groups, people who are feeling the pressure the most. We're talking about low and middle income families, seniors, and individuals who rely on fixed incomes. These groups are often hit hardest when prices rise because their income doesn't adjust as quickly. If that sounds like your situation, then this could be especially important for you. But here's where things get even more interesting. There's also discussion around supporting working families, people who are employed, but still struggling to keep up with the cost of living. That means even if you're working full time, you could still be in the group that qualifies for relief. And then there's another layer: households with dependents. Families with children often face higher expenses, and many relief programs are designed to reflect that reality. So the structure of this potential package is not random. It's being shaped around real financial stress points. But again, eligibility rules matter because even small details like income thresholds or filing status can determine whether you receive support or miss out entirely. And that's why understanding the next phase is critical. The possibility of direct payments. Are checks coming back? Let's address the question everyone is asking. Are direct stimulus checks coming back? The answer right now is not confirmed, but not off the table either. There are ongoing discussions about direct payments, but they may not look exactly like what you saw before. Instead of broad nationwide checks, there's a possibility of more targeted payments, focused on those who need it most. And that could actually change everything, because if checks are approved under this new structure, they may be distributed differently, possibly in phases, or tied to specific qualifications. Now think about what that means for you. Instead of a guaranteed payment for everyone, it becomes more about whether you meet certain criteria. And that makes staying informed even more important, because if payments are released quietly or through specific programs, you don't want to find out after the fact. There's also another factor to consider: timing. Even if direct payments are approved, they may not arrive immediately. There could be delays, processing periods, or phased rollouts. So if you're counting on that money, understanding the timeline becomes just as important as understanding eligibility. The bottom line: checks are still a possibility, but they may come with conditions. And those conditions could determine whether money reaches your wallet or passes you by. Why this stimulus is different from before. Let's step back for a second and look at the bigger picture. Because if you're expecting this new stimulus to look exactly like previous ones, you might be surprised. This time, the approach is more calculated. Instead of one massive package, the strategy appears to be more flexible, almost like building blocks instead of a single structure. Why? Because the situation today is different. Before, the focus was on immediate crisis response. Now, it's about long-term stability. That means programs are being designed not just to provide quick relief, but to support ongoing financial recovery. And that changes how money flows. Instead of one-time checks, there could be a mix of payments, credits, and ongoing support systems. For you, that means the impact could last longer, but it also means you need to pay closer attention to how these benefits are structured, because the value isn't always obvious at first glance. Some of the most powerful benefits might not even look like stimulus at all, but they still affect your bottom line. And if you understand how they work, you can make smarter decisions with your money. The hidden deadlines you need to watch. Here's something that catches a lot of people off guard: deadlines. When financial programs roll out, they often come with timelines, and those timelines can determine whether you receive benefits or miss them completely. And the worst part? These deadlines aren't always widely advertised. That means people who aren't actively paying attention often find out too late. Now think about that for a moment. Imagine missing out on financial support, not because you didn't qualify, but because you didn't act in time. That's why this section matters so much, because as pieces of this stimulus plan continue to roll out, deadlines will follow. Application windows, filing requirements, eligibility cutoffs. Each one is a gate, and once it closes, it doesn't reopen easily. So if you want to make sure you don't miss anything, staying updated isn't optional, it's essential, because timing can be just as important as eligibility. How this could impact your daily life. Let's bring this back to reality, because at the end of the day, this isn't about policies or programs. It's about how your life changes. If relief reaches you, what does that actually mean? Maybe it means catching up on bills. Maybe it means finally having breathing room in your budget. Maybe it means less stress at the end of the month. But there's also a bigger impact. When millions of people receive support, it affects the entire economy: spending, prices, and even job stability. So this isn't just about individual households. It's about the financial environment you live in. And that's why these updates matter even if you're not sure you'll qualify, because the ripple effects can still reach you. What you should be doing right now. So, what's the move? Right now, the most important thing you can do is stay informed and prepared. That means keeping your financial records updated, understanding your eligibility, and paying attention to official updates as they happen. Because the people who benefit the most are usually the ones who are ready before the announcement, not after. And in a situation like this, preparation can make a real difference. Even small steps can position you to take advantage of opportunities when they appear, so don't wait for everything to be finalized. Start paying attention now. Let's end with something real. This isn't just another news story. This is about your financial future. Because whether this stimulus package fully materializes or continues to evolve in pieces, the impact is already starting. And the truth is, the people who stay informed will always be one step ahead. So don't treat this like background noise. Treat it like something that matters, and because it does, your wallet feels it, your family feels it, and your future depends on how you respond. Stay alert, stay informed, and most importantly, don't miss what's coming next, because the next update could be the one that changes everything.